Watch your mailbox if you are a Social Security beneficiary, as you will be receiving something very important from Social Security any day now, and when you receive it, you certainly want to take a look at it right away. I'm going to talk through the details of what this is and why you want to take a look at it, as well as what else you may want to do with this. Let's jump into the details. Let's talk about what Social Security is sending out right here, right now, why you want to pay attention to this, why you want to take a look at it right away, and what else you want to do with this, because here's the thing as well. I get a lot of questions, I mean literally daily, people reaching out saying, hey, when are we going to get a stimulus check? How much is it going to be? When are we going to get it? All these details like this. Well, believe it or not, this information you're going to be receiving from Social Security is actually very important, and you may need it at some point here in order to possibly get a stimulus, okay? I'm not saying it's guaranteed. All I'm saying is that you probably want to hold on to this. Let me walk through the details. All right, so obviously here we are still early on in the new year, right? This is the time of year where everybody is sending out all kinds of tax documents. Now, if you received Social Security benefits in the year of 2025, you will be receiving one of two forms, either an SSA 1099 or an SSA 1042S if you live outside of the country, okay? Most people will be receiving a SSA 1099. This is the document that virtually everybody gets. Obviously, if somebody's living outside of the country, they get something else, but this is what most people will be getting. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't file a tax return. I don't care. This is garbage. I'm going to throw it away the second I get it. You could do that. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can. I'm not going to tell you what to do. That's up to you. Again, not my style to tell you what to do. But here's what I would suggest. When you receive it any day now, open it up, take a look at it, and make sure that it's accurate and consistent with what you actually received in 2025. Why? This information is being furnished to the IRS. Okay, what if Social Security made a mistake and said you got $100,000 in benefits when really you got $10,000 in benefits? Do you think the IRS is going to come a knocking? Yeah, they are. Why? Well, did you pay tax on that? If you only got $10,000, but for some weird reason they reported that you got $100,000, which would be weird. They don't typically make mistakes, but I'm saying they can make mistakes. Do you think that's going to be a problem? Yes, absolutely, okay? So look at this, make sure that it looks accurate. Okay, so when you look at it, it's going to be a statement, the Social Security benefit statement, and basically it's just going to be like, hey, we paid you, $11,427 in 2025 or whatever, some number, right? It's going to give you some number. Again, it's going to be consistent with whatever you got. If you want to see that that's accurate, take that number, divide it out by 12 months in the year, and it should come out to your benefit amount, okay? Now, obviously, it's going to be pretty accurate, okay? For the most part, I'm going to say that because it may show you gross benefits because you might be thinking, but wait, it has a higher number than they actually paid me. Well, remember, if you're paying the Medicare Part B premium, they're going to use how much they paid you as a gross benefit, not necessarily how much you took home that was deposited into your account. Does that kind of make sense? So it's going to be your total benefit prior to any deductions is what they're going to report on this SSA 1099. Okay, now this seems pretty obvious, and again, you might be thinking, but still, I don't care, I don't file a tax return. Okay, you're right, you might not file a tax return, but I would highly recommend holding on to this document for a couple different reasons. Number one, it's a great way to prove your income. If you ever need to prove your income for some reason, whatever it happens to be, maybe you're applying for a loan or something, or maybe you're who knows what, I don't know. You might need to prove your income at some point. This would be a great document to do that because it's a 1099. It's a legal document showing exactly how much income you had in the previous year. Probably a good official document to have on hand in the event you need to prove income for some reason, right? I would suggest holding on to it. Now, here's another reason what I would say is you probably want to hold on to this document, okay? No guarantees before I say this. I just want to say it though. Remember a few years ago when they distributed stimulus checks and there was some kind of issue where checks didn't go out to a huge percentage of Social Security beneficiaries, and then they came forward and said the only way you can get them now is by filing a tax return. That was a major problem. I had thousands and thousands and thousands of comments across the channel, across the videos at the time that were saying, I don't file a tax return. What do I do? And at the time, this was a few years ago, by the way, the only way you could get the stimulus check that they distributed, because there was a problem, was to file a tax return, okay? I don't know what's going to happen this year. I don't know what they're thinking for stimulus. All that we know is the president has endorsed multiple different stimulus check iterations, okay? All I'm saying is that if they were to offer something this year, and if they said, in order to get it, you need to file a tax return, do you think that this document would be handy to file a tax return? Yes, absolutely it would. Why? Because you need to know how much your income was to file on a tax return, even though if your income is below the standard deduction, which is over $16,000 now, your income technically on paper would be zero. You wouldn't have a tax liability, which, by the way, quick disclaimer, nope, not tax advice, not financial advice. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your accountant. I'm just a dude on YouTube, okay? But anyway, have to throw that disclaimer out there. But anyway, my point being is that do you think this document would be handy in the event you maybe need to file a tax return for some unknown reason, like maybe filing and claiming a tax refund called a stimulus check or an advance of a refundable tax credit? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not saying that's going to be the case where you would have to do this. I'm just saying in the event that something like this were to come up and maybe you would need to file a tax return for some weird reason, this document would be extremely helpful for the preparation of that documentation. I'm just saying, okay? Very important document to hold on to, even though a lot of you in this community might think it's garbage, I'm going to burn it the second I get it. If that's what you want to do, then do what's best for you, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to do. I feel the same way sometimes. But all I'm saying is that you might want to throw this in a little pile. Just keep it set aside somewhere. Just hold on to it. It's going to come in handy. And if it doesn't, well then by all means, throw it in the shredder. I don't know. Just whatever you want, okay? I'm just trying to look out for you and say it might make your life a whole lot easier at some point if we need to use this to reference how much income you had in 2025. Whether you file a tax return or not, it's a nice official document to have, okay? And again, this will be arriving any day now. They need to have this out by the end of January. Also, if you have a My Social Security account on the Social Security website, you could also access this there as well to have a nice digital copy of this. Nice to have a My Social Security account. They're trying to push 200 million of us onto Social Security accounts here relatively soon. I'm just saying that's their goal, is to get us all eventually signed up for a My Social Security account on the website. It is not required. You don't have to do it. All I'm saying is that it's a nice, handy tool to have, to look at it every so often, especially for these types of documents and this type of information, okay? Anyway, just want to keep you posted with what's going on. Hope you are having a nice new year so far. Thank you so much for being here. Again, very busy time. It's always busy. A lot of things have been happening. The last year or so have been very interesting. A lot of big changes.